What's up, my fellow Michiganians, Michiganders, whatever you happen to call yourselves? Welcome to Wolverine State Sports Talk. Some big news today. So the USC Trojans and the UCLA Bruins will be joining the Big Ten. I saw that on my phone and I thought this makes absolutely no sense. Two teams way out west coming to play a bunch of teams in the Midwest. Well, this confirms one thing that I pretty much knew about college football. It's no longer about geographics. It's really not about tradition anymore. It's a business. It's all about money. And this confirmation made me think a little bit. Michigan has been very behind in the NIL deals because of the fact that they haven't embraced that college football is a business. Ohio State has been doing whatever they can to generate as much revenue as possible for their players. And look at it this way. You guys heard Jim Harbaugh say that this is not a transactional experience, but a transformational one. Well, here's the problem with that. Let's say you're looking to work somewhere. You're looking at GM and you're looking at Ford, right? For your first job. You walk into GM and they tell you that when you work here, it's going to be a transformational experience, not a transactional one. And then next thing you know, you go to Ford and they say, hey, we're going to offer you $2 million right off the bat just to work here. Who the heck do you think I'm going to go work for? Absolutely, I'm going to go work for Ford. And right now, in that hypothetical example, Ohio State is Ford, Michigan is GM. Michigan is choosing not to embrace the fact that this is a business. And I don't think it's Jim Harbaugh's fault. I don't think it's Warren Manuel's fault. It's the fault of the university. The university seems to think that having a great athletic program is going to ruin our academic reputation. But I'll tell you this right now, the medical school is still one of the best in the country, and we just had a 12-1 football season, beating Ohio State. So, we've always had the winning, we still have more wins than any other program, and we still have a top-ranked university. So clearly, those two things don't relate, contrary to popular belief. Yeah, you know what, the student athletes aren't becoming star doctors, but that it hasn't been that way for hundreds of years. So, it's time for Michigan to let go of this holier-than-thou approach and play the NIL game. Or, if what Phil Martelli said is true and the university is just waiting for some of the rules to come out, which I don't know if that's true or not, because right now the rules are kind of fuzzy. If that's the case, Michigan needs to do whatever the heck it can to make sure some rules are in place. And I think that a way to do that is to work with Ohio State's athletic director, Gene Smith, and start this Super League. Because right now there's no overseer for college football. There's no body to enforce rules. The NCAA is completely powerless right now. They could get hit with an antitrust lawsuit just like that. And look, I'm happy that the players are getting paid. Don't get it twisted. I think it's good. They've produced a lot of value over the years and they deserve a share of what they're producing. I just don't like the way that this is being implemented because right now it's getting to a point where the schools that are willing to spend the most money are winning through collectives. You know, Ohio State's doing it, Texas A&M is doing it, and Michigan has created a collective, but it doesn't seem like it's as effective as these other schools, and that's why they're way behind. And personally, I think that's why Jim Harbaugh wanted to go to the Minnesota Vikings, because either A, he didn't want to deal with all this NIL stuff, or B, he's not going to coach for a university that doesn't want to win national championships as much as he loves Michigan. So, if you're Michigan, either you play this dirty game or you try to set the Super League and get some rules and regulations in place. Because, believe me, no coach wants to deal with staying up for 24 hours. You know, you already got to watch game film. You already got to work on recruiting. And now you got to work on this NIL stuff. You got to work on the finances. It's becoming a major headache. And right now, it seems like being an NFL coach is a much better gig, in my opinion. If I were to go into coaching, I'd go into the NFL in a heartbeat right now. So, Michigan could try to get the NCAA to enforce these rules, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think the NCAA is really a moot institution at this point. I look at it this way. Michigan right now is the kid that's sitting in the back of the classroom, doesn't cheat on any of his exams. Meanwhile, all his peers, Ohio State, Michigan State, Texas A&M, all of them are by Michigan's definition cheating, although we don't really know if they're cheating because we don't really know what the rules are. So if all these schools are cheating, Michigan's that kid in the back and they're saying, "Yeah, you know what? I didn't cheat, so I'm better than these guys." Well, you know what? The guys next to you that are cheating and getting better grades are going to Ivy League schools, they're going to these big colleges, and you're lucky to get into community college. It's not good enough to just sit back and let other people cheat and not do it. You gotta call them out on it, either play the BS game or call people out on their BS. Because right now Michigan's just sitting back being the holier than thou kind of guy and not getting NIL deals done, and that's why this recruiting class is a disaster right now. I know it's early, but the fact is Michigan has lost a lot of recruiting momentum, and it's not good. It's not good for the future of this football program, which is capable of so much more than what it's willing to put forward. And it's all the fault of the university. So the way you remedy this situation, actually get a league in place, actually get some oversight, start this Super League, get the highest grossing teams from the SEC, Big Ten, ACC. Let's get the Super League started. It would be fun. It would be great for the players. They get revenue based, they would get the revenue that they deserve based off the value they provide. And, there'd actually be some parity. Because part of what makes the NFL great is that there's rules set in place to keep the competition level. And even the NCAA had a scholarship limit, which helped level the playing field a little bit. So now if we actually form a Super League, which would essentially be a professional league, run through the colleges, then, you can actually set those rules and have there be fair play while the players can make tons of money. Because part of the problem with college football's finances, too, is the big schools often have to pay the little schools. Like when Michigan plays Eastern Michigan, Michigan actually has to pay them in order to play. So that kind of cuts into their profit. In a Super League, now the big schools can just play each other, pretty much be a bastion of making as much money as possible, and actually have some rules set in place to promote fair competition. But for right now, Michigan's behind the 8 ball. And now with USC joining the conference and, Ohio State's recruiting momentum, Michigan State, Penn State, Michigan's in trouble. And I don't think it's going to be a problem this season. I think 2022 we're going to be very good. I could see an 11 or 12 win season. But after that, if Michigan doesn't make some serious adjustments to their approach, and if they don't advocate for change in this league, one of the two, then you know what, we might as well just go ahead and join the Ivy League, be a great academic institution with no athletic program. I mean, I know that Harvard is a football program, but it's not the same. And it would be a big shame for a stadium full of 115,000 people to root for a team that will not even be able to compete for a national title, basically playing in 1AA football. So, the choice is yours for the Board of Regents, Michigan. Play the game or change the game. That simple. All right, go blue. And we're excited to have USC and UCLA in this conference. It'll be a lot of fun. I can't wait for some of those games. Going to be awesome. All right, y'all have a good night.